One of our LinkedIn posts recently had 50,000 plus more views, and the crazy thing is Claude wrote the entire thing. Now you might say that AI written LinkedIn posts don't work, but that's because how you're probably using AI for LinkedIn right now is just typing in something like write me a post about lead gen or something like that, which gets you a very terrible output that sounds nothing like you. But look, there is a so much better way to do this. It's the same system that got us that 50,000 view post, and it's how organic LinkedIn content drives over 80% of our pipeline every single month without us spending a dollar on ads. So in this video, I am going to show you the exact system we built with Claude to write our LinkedIn posts for us, as well as for dozens of other B2B software services, so you can copy it and easily generate posts that get thousands of views and bring in new business. The first step comes before you ever write a post. You start by building what's called a skill inside Claude. A skill can save everything about how you write, so that way Claude writes in your style every time without you having to explain it in every new chat. Now the first thing that goes into the skill is the guidelines for how you actually write. Start with a list of words you would never say. The AI sounding stuff that you always have to edit, like no fluff, game changer, unlock, leverage, and some of those other AI tasks you are probably aware of. Then you want to show Claude how your lines should actually look. They should be short and only have one idea each. Lastly, how the post is laid out. You should have a break every couple of lines so it's easier to read. You never want just a wall of text. So here you can see the words I don't want Claude using right at the top, and underneath the rules for how short the line should be and how the wall length is spaced out. With those rules logged in, what Claude writes will actually sound like you, which already puts you ahead of almost everyone else using it to write LinkedIn posts. Now the rule stops your posts from sounding like AI, but they don't teach Claude what a good post actually looks like. A list of things to avoid never shows what actually gets a post a lot of views and comments. The only thing that does is examples of ones that already performed really well. So the next thing you put into the skill is a few of your best posts. You want to give Claude the ones that got you the most views and the comments. So here, I'm dropping in a few of the ones that did the best for us right into the skill. If you're just starting and don't have your own yet, put the posts that consistently do well from people in your space. Or you can just use ours, because we published our entire skills for free and our best examples are already in it, as you can see. So I will just leave the link in the description. Either way, you want Claude to copy most of how those posts are put together, but not the topic itself. So how the hook is written, how the body is broken up, and how it ends. That way, when Claude writes about your topic specifically, it's building on a structure that's already proven to get views, and your examples only get better over the time. It's why our own writing skill has been through more than 20 versions. I think it's maybe around like 30-ish. So every post that does well gets added back in as a new example, so that the output continuously improves. By the way, if you want a system like this running for you, but you would rather not build it yourself, click the first link in the description to book a call with us. We can build and run your entire LinkedIn content system so it brings in pipeline on its own, just like we have done for over 130 B2B companies, including names like Active Campaign, Rocked, Goldcast, and a few more. Anyway, back to the video. Alright, so at this point, your post sounds like you and are based on what's worked before, but now I'm going to show you how to go from a post that gets a couple of hundred views to one that easily gets 50,000 more. A lot of people stop at the voice and examples, so their post sounds good, but barely anyone sees them. What you want to do next is give the skill the data on what gets a post the most views. We went through 15,000 posts from the top B2B go-to-market executives and founders on LinkedIn and found the exact patterns behind the ones that got the most views and comments, and I'm able to show you what they are. But you just load those same patterns into the skill, and from then on, every post Claude writes is built on what already works. The biggest one by far is the hook, or your first line. Your first line is about 90% of your work, because it's the only thing that people see before they decide to keep reading or score right best. Now, when we looked at the data, the posts that got the most reactions nearly all opened the same way, on a very specific number or a bold claim, while the ones that opened on a question got about half as many. With a number, people know that they are getting something concrete before they even click to read more. But with a question, they have to stop and answer it in their own head first, and that gives them an easy reason to keep scrolling. So all of that becomes a few simple rules in the skill for writing the hook. Open on a number or a bold claim, keep it short, and put the results right up front. Now, Claude writes every hook to match the ones that actually got the most views and gives you a few options to pick from, so you are also not guessing. Also remember that free LinkedIn skill I mentioned earlier. I'm going to pull up the page right now so you can exactly see like what's inside. So this is the LinkedIn skill, and it has 8 smaller skills in one. You get the hooks, post format, promote, storytelling, call to action, profile optimization, repurposing, engagement, and scheduling. It's all built on the same 15,000 posts that I mentioned, so that the hook rules I just walk you through are already written into it. Also, everything is in a public GitHub repo too, so you can install it with one command or just download the folder and upload it straight into Claude. There is also a full write-up in this page explaining how Claude skills even work in case you have never created one before. But if you would rather start from ours and edit it until it sounds like you, that's really the fastest way to do it. Anyway, the next pattern the data showed is how long the post is and how it's laid out. The sweet spot is 250 to 500-ish words, which pulls in almost 3 times the reactions of a post that's only one line. Also, every post gets paired with one simple image, since that alone more than doubles your reactions over just plain text. And spacing your lines out so it's easier to read gets you even more reactions, while too many images lowers them. So far, Claude knows how to write and what makes a post perform, but it still doesn't know what to write about. If you ask for post right now, it will sound exactly like you, but it still be a generic take with no numbers and nothing that you have actually done it. So the last thing that you put into the skill file is a file of everything that you could actually post about. Not a list of subject, but the things that you have built, tested and run with the numbers next to them. Ours is grouped into 7 topics we want to be known for, like AI agents, automation, outbound, how to spot the companies that are ready to buy, and the tools that we use. Under each one is a list of specific posts that we could write, and each one already names something that we have built or tested and the results it produced. So here you can see the 7 topics at the top, and under each one the specific posts we could write, each with the number it came from it, like reply rate we hit, or the hours one of our systems saved us. We also marked the one that only work for the next couple of weeks because they are related to whatever people are talking about at the moment, so Claude writes those before the rest. That technically prevents us from writing about stuff that's, no longer trending. Then there is also one rule that matters more than anything else in this file. Every post has to have a number in it, and that number has to come from your own records. So what we do is technically we tell AI, meaning like Claude, to use one of our own metrics first, then a client result, then a number from something we run, and only fall back to an industry average if we have nothing on our own. That way, Clay never invents a number and it never writes a post about something that we haven't actually done. And once that file is in there, all you have to do is pick one of these topics and Claude already has everything it needs to write about it. Now that's everything in place, you just pick one of those topics and Claude drafts the whole post for you. You are not typing out rules, examples or numbers anymore because the skill already has all of it. First it decides who the post is for, whether you're writing to reach brand new people or to connect with the ones who already follow you. Then it picks the best format for the post, like walking through a system you build, breaking down a result, or a take people will argue with. And finally, Claude writes the post using everything you put into the skill, your voice, your examples, your own numbers, and the data on what gets the most impressions. Awesome, now let's assume I would like to write something new, so what you will love about Claude, as what you can see here, is that the other AI agents can also work in the background. Perfect. And it's just going to pull automatically the corresponding and the right skill, and everything is going to be fine-tuned based on my best practices. Perfect. While we are waiting, you can also use this Visual Studio to write your post as well. Sometimes I prefer the Claude chat just because it's way easier to run multiple AI agents at the same time, and I can fine-tune what we would like to do. Perfect. And now it is writing it. So what you can see here, just from picking a topic, I get back a full draft that already sounds like me, uses my own numbers, and is built on my best performing posts. As you can see, it also writes a PS at the end of every post. 60-70% of our top posts have one, and it's where you drop a link to a free resource or an offer. With that PS, you are giving readers a clear next step on every post, which is super important if you want to actually turn your LinkedIn audience into buyer. The last thing that you want to do is make sure that the post actually sounds like you wrote it, so you need to actually read through the draft and fix anything that sounds even slightly off. Because no matter what, there is going to be some things that you have to tweak, so that quality check is the most important part. It even doesn't matter if you have a few typos. Now what I want to do is I want to little bit update the hook, because it's not bad, but it's a little bit AI-ish, so I want to make sure that it gets updated. It's just reading the top 15 hooks with the engagements, and everything else that is also like computed in the skill, so we can fine tune it. The original is not so bad. Really believe that the people should have the judgment before something gets overwritten in the theorem. There are also some like numbers as well, but I think we can like still fine tune it a little bit. Perfect. And I got 5 other hooks. It's modeled on, and basically like what's the expected like ratios as well, whether it can go wire or not, so that I can fine tune. It also mentions maybe I should go with the hook one as well, and so on. So you can just like pick what you would like to do. And again, this is always a draft. I let Claude draft everything that I want, and there is a final part, a Q&A. I just going through just to make sure that I have an option to tweak based on my unique insights and the current market point of view. So the post is written and it sounds like you, but you're still missing the image that goes with it. And remember what I said earlier about the images? One simple image more than doubles your reaction, so that the visual is doing about as much work as the copy is. The problem is that you normally have to write a brief, send it over to the designer, and then wait for a few days just to see the first version. So we make the image ourselves in Claude Design. That's a separate product from Claude Chat I have been using for everything else. We set our whole brand up in there one time, so our colors, our fonts, our logos, our backgrounds, and the icons for every tool we post about are all saved in one place. Even the theme's headshots are in there. So this is our design system, and every visual we make gets built from what you are seeing here. Now the way you tell Claude Design what to make is with a design brief. It's a short doc with the headline you want, the sections underneath it, and the layout. And that brief is already part of the LinkedIn skill that I just showed you. So once Claude writes the post, it writes the matching design brief, and you copy that straight into Claude. So here I'm just pasting in the brief for the post we just wrote, and it's going to pull automatically our colors, our fonts, and our logo out of the brand system automatically. We can also see it's reading different kind of like files, very specifically a few posters, compositions as well, different kind of like skill files that we have used to really fine tune this design system. Awesome, it's almost finished. What is really good is one prompt gives you 5 or 6 like different versions of the same visual, so you just really need to pick the one you like right here. You can also like set this up by person. So for example, you can see that Briggy has a different colors compared to everybody else. Versus my co-founder has a different kind of like set of rules as well, and some of our like team members, which is really useful because again you can set it up per person, so everyone on the team has their own colors and their own background, and the post still look like they came from the same company, but at least it's not the same, it's just like identical. We always use a single portrait image at 1080 by 1350 because that takes up the most room in the feed when someone on their phone. Also the headline on that image, as you can see, also the headline on this image always leads with some sort of results or number, and then whatever you did to get it. These are all very on brand, and all of them look really good. Probably I would go with the first or the second one, or maybe the third one, depending on my preference. And really being able to make these visuals yourself matters more on LinkedIn than anywhere else, because the formats stop working after a while and you end up redoing them constantly. And if your designer is the one with all your brand files, you are going to have to wait on them and pay for it every single time. The even bigger reason though is that you are the one who actually knows what performs in your space, or your content marketer, content engineer. A designer can make something look great, but you are the one who knows which posts do well every single week. So when you can make the visual yourself and you can build a design system like we did, your content marketer, content lead, content engineer, or you can test a new format the same day you think of it. Now you can put this whole system together yourself, but if you would rather have it done for you, just click the first link in the description to book a call with us. It's the exact setup behind our own LinkedIn, and it's brought us 2,800,000 views and 480 qualified meetings without us ever spending a dollar on ads. On the call, we will show you exactly what we have built to get you similar results. And also, everything we build is yours to keep even if we ever stop working together. So again, if you're interested in us building an entire LinkedIn system like this for you, you can book a call by clicking the first link in the description. And if you want to learn how you can generate leads with Claude outside of LinkedIn, then check out the next video.